An unfortunate time. No.
I will call this regular city council meeting to order on August the 12th, 2024 at 6 p.m. We do have a quorum, and if you'll join me, we'll be led in the invocation by Pastor Steve Payton from New Fountain Methodist Church. As soon as he gets here, or not.
Or not.
If you'll join me, I'll ask for help. Our Father, loving Father, again, we come to you and we do ask for help. We always ask for wisdom, Lord, as we go about the business of this city. And Lord, may we do it in a spirit that is kind to everyone, that is considerate of everyone. And Lord, may it be the best outcome for this city. Thank you for when and where we live. We ask all of this in your name. Amen. Amen. You'll remain standing. We'll sing a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can be seated. Item number 5 is our citizens' public comments. We have one who has signed up to speak at a later item in the agenda, and other than that, we have none. So we'll go on to item number 6, which is a really neat time. And I'm going to begin by reading Proclamation, City of Hondo, Texas, honoring the Hondo Little League Softball Senior Division, August 12, 2024. Whereas the Hondo Little League Softball Senior Division has demonstrated exceptional skill, dedication, and sportsmanship throughout the 2024 season, and whereas the team has achieved remarkable success, earning the titles of District 21 champions and Section 3 champions, and whereas the Hondo Little League Softball Senior Division qualified for the Texas West State Tournament, showcasing their talents and competitive spirit on a larger stage, and whereas the team finished the tournament with an admirable overall record of 5-2, reflecting their hard work, perseverance, and commitment to excellence, and whereas the achievements of the Hondo Little League Softball Senior Division have brought pride and joy to our community, serving as an inspiration to young athletes and residents alike, and whereas the City of Hondo recognizes and celebrates the outstanding contributions of the players, coaches, and families who have supported the team throughout the season, now therefore be it resolved that I, John McAnally Jr., Mayor of the City of Hondo, Texas, with the support of the full City Council and the citizens of Hondo, do hereby proclaim our heartfelt congratulations and commendations to the Hondo Little League Softball Senior Division for their exceptional accomplishments in the 2024 season. Be it further resolved that the City of Hondo recognizes August 12th, 2024 as Hondo Little League Softball Senior Division Day in honor of their outstanding achievements and the positive impact they have made on our community. In testimony whereof, I am here to set my hand and cause to be affixed the Great Seal of Hondo, Texas on this 12th day of August, 2024. I'm going to ask Councilman Williams to present this. If the coaches and the players will come forward and stand here in the front, we'd love to get a picture. Yeah, this is the softball, folks.
Just softball.
And while softball is coming, I just want to say a word of appreciation to all of the sponsors in town who put up signs on the ball fields and who help in many other ways. Some of them, they don't really want to be known, but we do appreciate them for both of these teams. I'm sure. Thank you, coaches and girls. We're proud of you. And a proclamation from the City of Hondo, Texas, honoring Hondo Little League Baseball Senior Division, August 12, 2024. whereas the Hondo Little League Baseball Senior Division has demonstrated exceptional skill, teamwork, and sportsmanship throughout the season, and whereas the team has achieved the distinguished titles of District 21 champions, Section 3 champions, and Texas West state champions, and whereas the Hondo Little League Baseball Senior Division has proudly represented our community as United States Southwest Regional Tournament qualifiers, and whereas the team has achieved an outstanding overall tournament record of 13 wins and only 2 losses, showcasing their dedication, perseverance, and excellence in the sport of baseball, and whereas these young athletes have brought great pride and honor to the city of Hondo, demonstrating the positive impact of youth sports on our community, and whereas the coaches, parents, and supporters of the Hondo Little League Baseball Senior Division have provided invaluable encouragement and guidance to these players, contributing to their success both on and off the field. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, John McAnally Jr., Mayor of the City of Hondo, Texas, with the support of the full City Council and the citizens of Hondo, do hereby proclaim our heartfelt congratulations and commendations to the Hondo Little League Baseball Senior Division for their exemplary achievements in the 2024 season. Be it further resolved that the City of Hondo recognizes August 12, 2024 as Hondo Little League Baseball Senior Division Day in honor of their outstanding accomplishments and contributions to our community. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the Great Seal of Hondo, Texas, on this 12th day of August 2024. Mr. Duarte has been active with our Parks and Recreation program through the years. I'm going to ask him if he would come and make this presentation to the coaches and young men as they come forward. And dads. Go ahead, Brett. They're not little boys anymore.
Thank you.
Stevie.
Get back here.
Scooch in a little bit. You scooch in a little tiny bit. There you go. Oh,
Just spinning right here a little bit, the short guy right here in the center. That's me. No.
And coaches, and thank you all the supporters of the City of Hondo.
Thank y'all for your support as well.
Oh, good. I'm sure we can find a place to put
Hey,
this.
as they all leave, I just want to point out that the city thanks the Hondo Little League for putting all this together, and also thanks to some of the businesses in Hondo, Herman Sons, Billy Bob's, right? Heavies, the Ranch Store in Castroville, C&W Fuels, Z-Mart. All of those businesses contributed to these teams. So go visit those places. Thanks.
Thank y'all.
Item number 7 on our agenda is the city manager's report. We have 3 sections on it. Mr. Nara.
All right. Council, the first update, 2024-2025 Hondo ISD school year. Put this on there just to say that we are ready to stand by to assist in any way we need to with the during the school year. We're actually doing some road work as well towards, I'm going to say, the end of August, and we're working with them, and hopefully we can do it on the weekend so that it doesn't affect the school day. But yeah, we're ready for it. I got to experience kind of a pep talk that Rosemary gave before school. Her teachers are hyped up and ready to go. So I don't know if anybody
Okay.
wanted to
No,
make
I
any
did want
comments.
to bring up one thing. I know there's some people in the community concerned about the SROs they're shifting the SROs around. Just so everybody knows, they are doing things that are in compliance with state law. Every single school is secure, and they are continuing to work to make things even more safe. And the city is here waiting to help them in any way possible. So everything's good on that front.
Yes, sir.
I want to add to Brett that the decision for the SRO's placement was that of Hondo ISD, as Brett said, to comply with state law, and not the decision of the council and the mayor or the city manager.
Okay. We're through with that item. The next item, Mr. Atarte asked me to give a update on all the current projects. So we've got quite a few. The baseball field project, I'll start with that. We had a really good meeting today with a company for the lights. We found some easy to install field lights. They're specifically designed for the purposes of cities that have utility companies that can, or electrical workers that can come in and make the installation. We're super excited about it. The pricing is good too. It looks like we're really going to be able to stretch the $400,000 that the council gave us for the fields. We're looking at taking the complex, the two fields of the complex, and lighting them. And we're looking at building in-house a new field. So that's very exciting, and it's very cost-effective. Already started working on that. I know Lynn's out there with Adam, and he shot grade. We've got a good place for it just south of the current complex. Even looking at making some improvements there, planting a few trees, doing some extending the walking path, and a few other things that'll be great for the community. So we're really excited about it. It is in motion. It is going. We've got a few procurement questions, but believe that we can have the lights here fairly soon, and then go ahead and start. And then of course we'll be building the field, getting ready for hopefully by next season. The fair hall. The bathroom is in progress. I just got a few pictures from the guys. They've actually they've got 2 or 3 weeks of time before it's rented out, so they're going to get the lion's share of the work in the bathrooms done these next 3 weeks. They've taken off some of the walls, they've removed the sinks, removed all the toilets and everything, and really getting the men's bathroom ready, and then they'll move on to the women's as well. They've already done a lot of the lighting there. They've done the lighting in the men's bathroom. They've done the lighting throughout all the kitchen and everything else there. We also got stainless steel tables for the kitchen area, so it's getting there. Recently also, we just put in the paper that we finally got the bid documents ready for the AC. So that's exciting. That bid went out in the paper. We expect to receive proposals soon, and we'll get that going. Hopefully, that one's going to take a couple of months because they've got to order everything, but we're on it. We're excited, and we're scheduling in between rentals. The downtown storage tank renovation, the project manager has been assigned. KSA is completing a tank assessment, so basically they're taking a look at it and seeing what needs to be done. And the project will go out to bid and will likely begin in early 2025. The electrical study and reconductor at the airport, we just had a kickoff meeting for that. It's in the design phase currently, and the work should begin in late 2024, early 2025. The 30th Street trunk main project is in the design phase. That's the big project, probably the biggest project of the CO bond. But we're in the design phase, and construction should begin in probably late 2025 and all the way through 2026. The electrical area at the golf course well, the parts have been ordered and the work will begin soon. The City Hall electrical repair, that's basically what you see out here. You see some pipe rolled up. Basically the conduit has been bored already, and in a month or so the contractor should come and complete the work. The Avenue V sewer project is in progress. So basically, you see them out there working, that's where they've removed a lot of the sidewalk and things like that. We had a couple of unexpected placement there, but they're working to get that done. The streets, HA5 is almost complete, and this year's chip seal will begin soon. We've almost got the map ready. We've basically looked at our funding. We're almost there. So I feel, I would say it's safe to say that over the next couple of weeks, we should be able to begin. So we're working with the contractor. Like I said, but we're finishing up the map too. So we've got about 7,500 linear feet. Again, staff is working diligently to make sure that they find the streets that need it the most. We will be doing a 1-course chip seal instead of a 2-course. And then we will come back and place HA5, which is a product that you saw before. And we'll put HA5 in the 2025. And the reason why is because the chip seal has to be down for a little while before it's ready for that. Spats well is 90% complete. The CDBG grant clarifier project is complete. The walkthrough schedule for next week. The downtown water tank lights are complete. We are waiting on a replacement blue lens, but the timer, everything's good. It'll light up white right now, but when we get the blue lens in, it'll light up blue. The fence project outside the downtown water tower is in progress. It was required by TCEQ. We're adding an automatic gate as well. And the airport sign, we're working on placement and engineering, and demo of the old sign as well. Is there any more, any questions or anything on that one?
No, John, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Stage 3 water restrictions. We went from stage 4 to stage 3. Council, you received just a water restriction page. Please notice that it has now been updated to reflect the ordinance that we passed. So we'll be doing that with all the stages because before it didn't quite reflect the ordinance. So now we've clarified it, and you've got the times for watering, and should be able to glance at it and easily be able to understand and follow. All right.
Okay,
No more questions.
thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Our consent agenda consists of items 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. We've had this packet and agenda over the weekend. Unless I hear
Make a
objections.
motion that we approve the consent agenda, Mayor.
Second.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda from Mr. Ituarte and a second from Mr. Williams. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same side, motion carries. Thank you. Item number 14. Discuss and possible reconsideration and action on longevity and certification pay proposals that were discussed and passed on July 22nd, 2024 at a regular city council meeting. If you will go to item 14 in your agenda, we have a order in which we would do this. The first thing that we would need would be a motion to reconsider. And as I recall, everyone voted in favor. So we need to make a motion to reconsider the action taken on longevity and certification pay proposals that were passed on July 22nd, 2024 at regular city council meeting.
I have a question for the city attorney. Can I motion to reconsider the action taken only on the certification pay? When they were together on and to me they shouldn't have been together, but they were together. I don't want to reconsider the longevity. I just want to reconsider the certification.
Yeah, you can do that. Were you one of the members that voted for the item last time?
We all voted for it.
Unanimous? Yes.
Okay, so
Since it was an action taken in tandem, wouldn't we reopen the whole thing and then adjust it?
Well, is this how it was worded at the last meeting? Where you said they were together at the last meeting?
Yes,
Yes.
they were in the same agenda item.
I would make I would do the whole, since they were together at the last meeting on the agenda, I would reopen both items and then just read it. Once it's reopened,
Right.
then you have to make a motion to re-vote on the whole item again.
Okay.
You can take action on an either or item, though.
Yeah, you could take action on either or, but I would just, for purposes of making it cleaner, if you
Right.
keep the longevity the same, just re-motion the same thing you made last meeting.
So our first order would be to get a motion to reconsider.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to reconsider the action taken on longevity and certification pay proposals that were passed on July 22nd, 2024 at the regular city council meeting.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Williams and a second from Mr. Duarte. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign? I hear no opposition. The motion to reconsider is positive, passed.
Another motion.
Now we can have new discussion, and we could potentially amend the motion.
Yes.
All right. So, as I recall, in subsequent discussions, as Mr. Williams stated, the concerns were not so much about longevity as they were about certification pay. So, Mr.
Okay,
Williams?
so, again, I'm fine with longevity. The certification pay, so, you know, historically, the city hasn't done its due diligence at adjusting pay to market for many years. We've done that now. When those pay grades are analyzed, it considers certifications that are required for those positions. And so they are compensated for those certifications that they're required to have. Now, I'm not saying that we should do away with certification pay. It already exists. All I'm saying is that we just pause and don't increase it $50,000 when we know it's not being done correctly. And you know, I think Chris would agree with me that that pay is included in your salary if it's required for your job per a compensation study. So what I'm saying is I would like to take that one out. I would like to go forward with the longevity, take that one out, and then have the city look at certification pay as a whole, not just for two departments plus CDLs, but all of the city needs to be looked at, and then figure out a way to, you know, who is not being compensated for certifications that they're getting, and so that's why I would like to reconsider the vote on the 22nd for certification pay.
Now, one comment, you can do what you just said, but the action would have to be on the entire item together, so you would just,
Okay, so can I make a motion to separate them?
Well, I'd like some more discussion.
Okay.
I agree with Brett, Mayor. If we're going to be fair across the board, as we should, because if you look at the cert pay right now, it's not fair across the board. We have to give Chris and company the opportunity to see how is it fair or not fair, and I'm sure Chris is going to have legal questions of our firm. I mean, if we leave it as is, you're going to have somebody. We could hypothetically have somebody where they go out and get a CDL qualification, non-required, and get paid for it. Our hands are tied as is right now. As it is right now, if we leave it alone, I think that in the future, it could cause us some legal ramifications.
And all of that should be supervisor approval, you know.
Exactly.
There should be things that are put in place to where that can't happen.
It is in place as we speak, Mayor, and you know it. It's been here for years and years and years. And it was only being applied, you know, if you get certified in something that's required, they would submit your name. Now, if they're not submitting the names of those that are qualified or certified in some job, some aspect of their job, then that's on the supervisors. That's on them. HR schedules all the training. So the supervisor has to bring that piece of paper to our HR representative. Hey, this individual just completed this. But is it part of their job? Is it a qualification necessary, required of their job? If it's not, hey, I can go get certified in hose wrapping and you're gonna pay me.
Other discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, I just think, I mean, in my view, I think certification pay is good. It encourages the city employees to go out and get more education on a job. Let's say, for instance, the person that's certified is sick that day or is out for an extended period of time. Now you have somebody else to step in and certified and can do that job. Not only does he win by getting extra pay for being certified, but I think the citizens of Hondo win because their city employees have more knowledge to do a better job in whatever they're doing. So I'm for it. I wish it would stay there, so I'm vote to keep certification pay on there.
They already do it.
Sorry, Ms. Williams?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that it's good, and I think there's opportunities for certification pay for people that aren't required to have that certification. But I want to ask Chris this question. In a compensation study, when they determine what a pay grade is, what that position is paid, that's part of the knowledge, right? Certifications, college, that's already in there. So we can talk all day. The certification pay is great, but they are being compensated for it.
I mean, they consider that when they set the levels, but there could be a person that has a higher license in the job that they have, the level, and that's where the certification.
Right, and
we reward them for having a higher certification than
So
the actual job that they have.
and that's all the things that need to be looked at. For people that, if you want to have somebody that is not getting compensated because their current position doesn't require that certification,
And that's what
then that's not what this is saying. Though. That's saying that everybody gets it. It doesn't matter if it's required or not. That's what I have an issue with. And so I just think it's not smart to be, double paying
inclusive.
on people that are already getting compensated. It's just a way of doing it. It's just not correct. And so I think if there's opportunities like that, if a lesser certification is required and they have something else, I think they should be. I would be for compensating them, right? And that's what I'm saying. Look at the whole system. Look at every department. Whose certification is required for them? That's in their pay. We just did a compensation study. And I guarantee you, that's in their pay. You know that too.
So
But if it's not, then that's when we.
And I think
And you
city
need to tell us that
manager,
if it's not in their pay, we need to know that.
Yeah.
Because
would
to
it be
me,
fair? I'm sorry, go ahead.
if wastewater and water require a certain certification, yes, let's pay them. Let's pay them to get certified, that extra. But if it doesn't require, of course, we're not gonna open it to everyone. I wouldn't open it to everyone. But if Johnny Joe is required to have a B, then let's compensate him. But you have to tell us, is it in their pay? If it's not, then we need to reconsider.
So Mr. Williams, are you, I just want to make sure I'm understanding, and maybe others, are you suggesting that we delay the certification pay?
Exactly. I'm not saying we don't touch anything we're already doing. We just don't increase it to the numbers that we voted on last meeting, and then the staff reevaluates the whole plan with all employees, and looks at who already is getting compensated because it's required for their position. Who's not getting compensated? Who's getting those certifications and is not being compensated? They for sure should be compensated. If that I didn't even think about that situation where they could be in their position and they get something a little better, they should be compensated something for that. I agree with that. And I do agree that it's good for the city to have more people with certifications, even though those positions aren't available for them at the time.
Mr. Villa?
My feeling is we already went through all this the first time. I just want to keep it the way it is.
Okay. So
So I guess I'm gonna vote no for it.
I would entertain a motion then, and the attorney can help us to word it.
So, well, it depends who's making a motion and what they wanted to say. So if you guys are wanting to do the exact same thing you did on the 22nd, then it'd be to make that same motion again. If you're gonna change what you guys voted on last meeting, then it would be a different motion based on what you guys are looking for. So if someone's looking for just longevity, then that's all you'd be voting for. Because effectively, by reconsidering this item, your vote the last meeting is void. So you gotta re-vote on the whole thing again if that's what council wants, or vote just solely on longevity or bifurcate it.
So a motion to the effect of,
So we're gonna have two motions?
No.
No.
Well, you can have,
Well,
What do you-
that puts us in a bind, because if he's gonna make a motion for longevity, and I think everybody agrees with the longevity pay, that's fine. But if we're gonna vote for this combined, you know, we're not gonna have it.
Can I make a motion?
If I vote nay, that means I'm voting nay for longevity and the certification, and I'm not.
think of it like this, last meeting vote doesn't count anymore because you guys have reconsidered the item.
That's,
So if
I
you-
understand that.
So if you're gonna make a motion, then you can make the motion you want, so did you approve both? That's what you wanna do, right?
No.
Well, it all depends how he makes the motion.
Can I make a
Anybody can make the motion.
okay, Mr. Williams is ready.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to leave certification pay exactly where it is and not increase the budget as proposed in the last meeting. And leave longevity exactly the same.
As proposed.
As proposed.
Second.
So we should say your motion is to change longevity to $10 per month, right?
Yes. Okay, do I need to do that since we brought it back?
Because it's back to 3 now because we didn't.
Okay, my motion, I make a motion to increase longevity to $10 as per the budget, how it is, and to not increase certification pay at this time, and for staff to go look and do a
Study.
comprehensive study on certification pay.
Second.
Okay, and this has the effect of the proposal that was presented, we're accepting the longevity part and rejecting the certification part.
Just the certification increase.
Certification increase, yeah. And so I have a motion from Mr. Williams and a second from Mr. Ituarte. Discussion.
Yes, who's gonna figure this out? Are you gonna do it, or we're gonna have to hire somebody to do it, or what?
No, I'll get with Michelle, and we'll go back and look at the job descriptions and see, you know, what's required, and then we can compare that to our staff and see if there are.
So there won't be
I'm sure
any
there are
out-
people that have licenses that are not in their job description, they may have a higher license.
Okay.
But me and HR will figure it out, and we'll bring it back in a comprehensive way.
Chris, can you
Yeah,
look at
that's the way
the,
you want to vote.
can you look at the compensation study document that we received? Because I believe there, what Brett is referring to, and we, except for Joe, we all read it, it gives you a listing of what they were looking for to set the pay for our community to bring them up to speed.
I
as
believe
far
it was
as market
considered-
value.
I believe it was considered when they set the levels, 1, 2, and 3 level, and crew leader level, and
Right,
so on.
but that compensation study report, please look at it, because it has a lot of information when they brought up our employees up to market value, which didn't start till October.
Right. It was
So,
October
it-
of last year, right? October.
You know, we're
But
not,
I would say that we've always paid an additional amount for certification, and before the amount was only $25 a month. So all we were doing was increasing it to be significant, so that they would actually get a significant reward.
but it's only,
And that's good if
It's good,
they
but it-
should.
And like.
But we shouldn't double
They're not
compensate.
necessarily going to get a promotion to the next level because they got that license. So there's where they get the license, they're not getting promoted to the next level, they're not really getting rewarded for it.
And
until they get
we
that job
we
later.
discussed that, and that would be fine. I would support a stipend for that.
So at the job they were in, if they had to have that certification to get that job. So at the time of the comp raises, I would say that it was considered, because it's part of the job description, to get that job. But we've always paid an additional amount on top of that, the $25 a month, and Like if they get a new license after the comp study, that they wouldn't get any, they would still just get the $25 for it per month.
Well, just because,
So what's the purpose in redoing this? Have you just?
I mean, the purpose was to make it significant and be higher than the other.
No, I'm talking about why change it? Why have a new motion and a new?
I wasn't, I wasn't for changing.
That's the council thing. So if I may, the issue that we're voting on is to accept the idea of longevity and reject the idea of changing the certification pay. And to direct staff to look into the certification pay. Is that?
that's right.
With you?
That's correct.
Okay, are we clear on what we're voting on? Because the implication is then that we are voting for longevity and voting against, in the same motion, the certification.
Just the increase. Not voting against it.
Certification
The
increase
current one
and
will not
directing-
change.
And
Yeah.
directing staff to take a
Right.
look at it.
So if it fails, will we be back to square one, or if this motion fails, where do we go from there?
If the motion fails,
It goes back.
Then you
to
make
the
another
that we
motion.
you're
gave
making
the
another
license.
motion, if you guys like to, I mean, the next motion would be to do both, or it just fails and dies, and then it can be brought back.
See, what I'm talking about is he's making a motion to keep the longevity
Yes.
as it is.
Yes.
okay?
No.
Now,
Well, no,
Increase it to $10.
As proposed, and this, what you guys voted on last
okay,
week.
but this is where I'm coming in. I'm for the longevity
Okay.
pay, but I'm against the certification, so what do I have two votes, one for this and one for that?
Well, you know
If I
what?
vote yes,
You know
it's for
what?
both, and if I vote no, it's for
Just,
both.
if you don't want to do the certification, just vote no, and then we'll redo the motion.
Might we have an amendment?
Yes, you have a minute to separate it out, that way it's
Yes.
sooner on the vote.
Okay, I would entertain an amendment to the motion to say that we do away with the certification pay.
So move.
I have an amendment to the motion. This way we consider the amendment, and after the motion is amended one way or the other or not, then we go on to the other issue, and that way it separates the two issues. So I have an amendment to
Separate.
reject the certification pay, right?
Increase,
The increase in the certification pay.
not the program.
Right,
Not the program,
Right.
the increase.
okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have an amendment and a second. The motion has been amended.
Who made the amendment?
Mr. Williams, Mr. Duarte made the amendment. Mr. Williams made the second to it. And what we're voting on at this point is only this part, the part that says that we are going to reject the increased certification pay.
Right, just
Okay.
look at it. It's not going away,
It's not going away.
just look at it.
Right,
Study
right,
it.
right. Okay. So I'm going to do this just for clarity, not for anything else, by calling the roll. Place one.
Aye.
Man,
And
I got a question before you
Okay.
go through them, man. Are we gonna get this information before we approve the budget or after we approve the budget? When is this coming back to us? Before or after we approve the budget?
We can do it, we can do it however the council wants. If you want it before.
I mean, is there time to do it?
I think
before
we have
we
a lot of
approve the budget?
information, right, John?
Johnny, we made the decision based off of what we thought was proper. We've got a decision, obviously Councilman Williams and Councilman Duarte don't agree with that decision, and that's fine. It's just, it's a different style of management. We chose those numbers specifically because, again, it's difficult to keep wastewater and water personnel here, and then all around the state. And so we want to keep people in the same pay grade, but we still want to encourage the people in the lower pay grades to, okay, hey, if you get a C license, that's great. You're going to get a step up. You're going to get extra money.
But his question,
So I feel comfortable with the decision we made. We can certainly look over it, but it would take some time.
I
One at a
understand all
time, please.
that. I understand all that.
This will make it easier, and I apologize for getting the motion confused. I'm trying to follow along with the discussion to figure out what you guys want. I guess if you take action to reject the certification pay, then you're saying no to it.
Right.
A better motion to be made would be
Bless you.
just solely vote on the longevity pay, and then the certification pay stays where it was at before council took action.
No, you got it backwards. The longevity stays what is that? And the certification.
Well, it goes up to
No,
$10.
it's a proposed.
Yeah.
Longevity is as proposed.
Yes.
And
Yes.
certification
And then you
is
just
not.
don't vote on certification. You just vote on longevity if that's what,
Yeah, that's simple.
yeah. because-
Okay, so our motion,
We won't vote on it because we,
But I want to vote on keep certification as proposed by the city.
yeah. So we do have a motion in front of us, which is to reject the certification part. Have staff look into it. Reject it as proposed and have staff look into it.
I want to say,
Motion and a second.
we're still in discussion.
I think John has already said they've looked into it, and this is what they propose, and I think they've done their due diligence, so I don't see what and it's not double dipping.
It
Or
is.
whatever it's been called. I don't claim to know more than they do, so I don't know what else we're gonna ask them to do. They've already done their due diligence.
Okay, I want to say
You know,
something.
what are we gonna wait?
Okay, so are we clear on what the motion is?
No.
Not really.
The motion is to reject the certification,
The proposed
proposed
certification.
certification, and have staff look into it further. That is the motion, to reject the proposed certification proposal and have staff look into it further.
Yes.
Yes. I want to
Okay.
say, I mean, we're in discussion still. I want to say one thing.
All right?
So this is not a leadership style at all. Compensation studies are meant, they look at knowledge, college education, how many people you supervise, certifications, what's required for the position. That's how they're calculated. That's not a leadership style. That's why people go get compensation studies. So I mean, we can say like they did their due diligence, but that is double dipping, and it's not smart for us to do that. Look, you know, I'm for giving raises, right? That weren't proposed. That's not what this is about. This is about doing things correctly. And just because we've always done it that way doesn't make it right.
Okay.
But just because you say it's double dipping, John, is that double dipping?
Ask the CFO. And you weren't at the last budget meeting, but he agreed that it was. The CFO did.
but you just said
Certification
it
pay?
wasn't included in the
it's not.
compensation.
It wasn't.
That's
It
what-
is. You said it. You said it in the
Mayor,
last budget
I-
meeting.
I'm going to clarify.
Did you not say that in the last budget?
Myself.
Okay. Mr. Duarte?
I'm going to put this out for clarification purposes. The two employees that left from wastewater and water, we haven't lost people here from those departments. But those two gentlemen that left, and John acknowledged it at the second workshop, those two people, those gentlemen that left were good, extremely good. But they left because they went and got their certification, and they were told they were not going to get paid certification. Because at this time, he wasn't going to do it. And he acknowledged it. So right there, for him to tell Johnny to justify, let's keep it, you know, we're losing wastewater and water people. No, we're not. We lost two gentlemen in May because they did not get certification pay. That's been here already. It's
I'm not sure I'm
nothing new,
following your
Mayor.
point.
This is asking for
I'm not
certification
sure I'm
pay.
following your point.
Well, he made that comment a while ago that we're losing people because of certification pay. No, they left because they did not get it. They did not get it. They were handed a piece of paper that said, you got a water license of this grade. And at the time, they were not given their cert pay. So it's not the program that's failing. It's the leaderships that's failing, not sending this paper to whomever, to HR, to him. So our program, it didn't fail our two employees.
So
now
you're
he's asking
assuming that
again.
we have in place already a program that rewards people when they gain a further conversation.
I've said it for the last month. We're not doing.
Is that the case?
We're not doing nothing new. It's already in place. You bring.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. You bring the certification and you get paid. John also made the statement, well, you know, now we're looking at the responsibility of the supervisor. Hell yes, we are. If I'm a supervisor and Brett goes and gets his seawater license, hey, Pork, here, I got certified, man. Man, I want that paid. It's up to me to take it to HR, to coordinate with Chris and John, and get paid. Yes or no?
So
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
the other attorney.
do we have, I'm asking HR and CFO, do we have in place a program whereby if someone gains a further certification, they are rewarded for that?
Yes, at $25 a month. What we're doing is we're changing the amount that they receive for it. We're not changing the program. We're changing the
You're
amount.
right, but it was
To a
presented
higher
to us,
amount.
it was presented to us, Chris, and I've said it for the last month, Mayor, and I hope we've got recorded. I've said it for the last month. We're not doing something brand spectacular new that somebody is thumping their chest on. This is what I want done for the city. It's already here. It was just presented the wrong way. It was presented as a new benefit. It's not a new benefit. We've had it for,
Well, it's significantly
So are
higher.
you
If
for the
you look,
benefit
if
or
you look
against
at what was in the package last
Are you
time.
for the benefit or against it?
I'm for the certification pay. However, what they're trying to do is give it to everybody and anybody.
Okay.
If it's not in your job description,
Then you don't need it.
then why
So-
are we giving out free money?
Okay. So
Porky, you can't actually get you won't be allowed to take the test for the, and I understand your comments may be towards the CDL, but we should clarify that. The wastewater and the water license, you can't get them unless you work in wastewater and water, because part of the requirements of taking the test is that you have to work X number of hours under water or
I'm
wastewater.
referencing any certification.
And and again, the CDL, I mean, I'll give you, for instance, the CDL, there's CDLs in streets. We have equipment in the streets that require CDLs. There's CDLs in water, wastewater. We've got equipment that requires them. And there's one CDL in parks. And there's a bucket truck that's going to be moved to parks here pretty soon. So they'll need somebody to drive it. Now I can understand, I mean, Stephanie, Val, somebody up front, yeah, they could go get a license technically, but it's a very easy change in the policy manual to say that if a CDL is not required for your job, that's something we can look at in the future.
So, Mayor, so in the big scheme of things, I think this has a real small impact on the whole budget.
It's around $50,000+, I believe,
I mean,
right, Chris?
$50,000.
We're here,
We're about to-
just to reward some city employees to get,
That's not
learn
the,
and getting, education and, but.
that's not
Go
the
ahead.
point at all. Again, I think we should just vote on it, but that's not the point. The point is, some people, it's required for their position, they're getting compensated for it.
But he's
If
saying
there's-
they're not.
Yes,
That's the
they are.
thing.
They are. He's changing it. He said they were in our last budget meeting. He agreed with me. So he's changed his tune for those that weren't there. But people that, if you can use them and they need to get a certification that would help the city, that it's not required for their job, I agree with that. I agree with certification that way.
He did say
But
yes, Rich.
if it's part of their job description, they are being compensated for it in their salary. That's how compensation studies work. I know that for a fact, and he knows that too.
You did agree with him, Chris.
And I'm not trying to point you out. I'm just saying that is the truth. I mean, and we can act like it's my opinion all day long, or it's a leadership style, which that's ridiculous. It's not. That's how those are done. So we can say it's no impact. It's $50,000 that we're going to make the citizens of the city pay, and they're already paying for a lot of it.
We are beginning to leave the actual issue and get into personalities. I do not want us to do that. So I'm going to call for a vote on the amendment. The amendment is to reject the certification pay that was proposed, which means that we will stay with whatever it is at present. And that staff will look into it further. So all in favor, I'll call it by order, place 1.
Aye.
Aye. Place 2.
No?
Place 3.
Aye.
Place 4.
No.
Place 5.
Nay.
All right. The amendment fails, which brings us back to our original motion, which is to accept longevity
At $10.
as proposed
So move.
at $10.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion. We already had a motion.
This is a new,
This is for longevity.
I just made a motion.
Longevity, yeah, we need to vote on the longevity piece. the $10.
Yes, okay, all
I
right.
just voted
So
to increase longevity from $3 to $10 per the budget. That was my motion.
In the interest of clarity, I'm going to allow it, although it's out of order parliamentarily. So your motion is to accept the longevity part, right?
From $3 to $10 as proposed in the
Okay,
budget.
and the motion maker was Mr. Villa, and the second was Mr. Williams.
No, he made the motion, I made the second.
Yeah, that's,
Okay, he made the motion, he made the second. All right, get this straight in the minutes now. All right,
well, that's not in the recording.
Confusing.
He and he.
yes, okay.
Yeah, good luck
So,
on the last one.
Before I call the roll call, what we're voting for or against is the longevity pay. Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. And I appreciate everybody's thoughts and look forward to probably visiting this again. Yes.
I believe you'd have to make a motion because technically right now, because you rescinded the motion for the longevity and,
Well, no, so
No.
what they did was they reconsidered the item and they bifurcated the action. So they approved the longevity as presented, but they rejected the certification pay with instruction to staff.
Actually,
Oh, but it didn't pass, it didn't pass.
Yeah, so I think we're back to square one on the certification, and if we wanted to go into place like we did the last time, we need to have a motion for that. Because when we reconsidered it, it reversed everything that happened before.
all right.
And not the
You know, right, it reversed back to where we started before the last meeting.
Right.
So the longevity has now passed, and that on the certification, we rejected the motion to go back and reconsider, but there's not a motion to actually approve the certification pay as from the last meeting.
Which
So we
means
need a
it's not
mo-
approved.
So we need
So it hasn't been approved
motion
yet.
to approve the approval that we had on July the 22nd.
Right, if that's what you want, yes.
Right.
Right.
I make the motion to go ahead and
All right,
approve
Mr. Villa moves
the
the,
certification that was proposed on July 22nd.
I second.
I have a motion from Mr. Villa and a second from Mr. Claire. And the motion is that we approve the
Certification that was proposed on July the 22nd
Okay.
that was approved.
all right. Any discussion? I think we've discussed this a lot. Place 1,
Nay.
place 2,
Yes, yay.
place 3,
Nay.
place 4,
Yay.
place 5.
Hey,
Mayor?
no,
No.
I'm voting, well, I made the motion.
Okay.
Well,
So what did Rachel, was yours? Yes?
She said yes.
Okay.
So I have from place 1, nay, from place 2, yes, from place 3, nay, from place 4, yes, from place 5,
Yes.
yes.
I made the motion.
Right, okay.
I think it was-
So the
I think it was
motion
yay,
carries.
yay.
The motion carries.
So effectively, you guys are back to what the action was taken on the 22nd.
Right,
You're an attorney, guys.
right.
You're an attorney.
You're welcome.
Took a long way home.
Okay.
Okay. Item number 15, public hearing on the proposed budget for fiscal year 2024, 2025. And I'm going to ask that a presentation be made first, and then we will open the public hearing for anyone who wishes to speak. Mr. Hill?
Well, it's a public hearing, so I mean, I think we should just hear public comments related to the budget at this point.
Do you have anything to say?
I mean, I can do a quick recap. If that's what you want.
Well, we have on page 47 of 57 in our packet, we do have the overview of the proposed budget comparison of 2024 and 2025, along with the differences. And we have in our workshops looked in detail at all of the different things that are involved in there.
Right.
So
I will say that from the feedback in the workshops, that we've added a 3% raise across the board, and that is in the current budget. We have used the fund balance to balance that, and there's about a $600,000 amount that's coming out of fund balance. That's the $250,000 that we're using for streets that was already there from the original budget book, plus the $350 that we were negative after we added the 3% raises. So that is in the current proposed budget. There is a 0.48% proposed tax rate in this budget. And we did clean up the fee schedule based on what we discussed at the workshops. And there's still two items that are outstanding that should not, I don't think, are going to make any significant difference, but we haven't made a decision on our medical plan. But we do already have an increase in the budget that will cover it. And we haven't gotten the final amount on the TML insurance, but I think the amount in the budget will cover that. So that's where we are now, and there is a proposed total expenses of $28,169,939 in the proposed budget. And it's going down 1% from last year, but that's because of the capital projects that we had in last year, the AMI meters, for example. On the water side, we're a couple $1 million in last year's that it's not repeating. So it's the big difference is the fact that we have the comp study that's in the budget for the full year
From
before that we approved last year.
Right.
That's about $900,000 a year.
Okay.
Chris?
Then I will open the public hearing, and we have one who wishes to speak, Mr. Chevelle Lopez.
And the time?
And the time is at 6:58. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Shael Lopez. I reside at 1002 Avenue West. And today I want to talk about, here at the public hearing, on the budget, on the proposed budget for 24-25. I've been talking to city employees, and they look forward to the very least, at least a 5% pay raise, because we go to the grocery stores and you buy groceries, the groceries are very expensive, And I know that the city gave the workers, the hourly employees $15 an hour, but $15 an hour right now is not cutting it, for the hourly employees. I've seen some, city workers in other places that are earning $20 an hour. Some of them are earning 23 entry level, $23 an hour, So, and I went to the budget hearings. I know that the council is, has been talking about considering a 3%, 3% across the board, but, workers are looking forward that you reconsider that and give them a 5%, and I know that 3% is better than nothing. I know the city manager was considering not giving them a raise at all, but, you need to give them at least, the very least, a 5% across the board, You should reconsider the 3 and give them a 5%. That's only 2 more percent, And the other thing I want to talk about is the animal shelter, I know that the animal shelter just recently got enclosed, and they enclosed it with tin. It's got a tin roof, and it's got tin all the way around, but it doesn't have any insulation, I went over there yesterday, and it feels like an oven in there. I know they have fans. They got some fans in there, but ovens have fans too, and it's hot in there, and those animals, they should be in this particular upcoming budget. The chief of police, the police department should consider, spraying or putting up some insulation in there. I know the temperature will come down considerably, because if you don't, in the summer it's gonna feel like an oven, and in the wintertime, if we get those 10-degree winters, it's gonna feel like a freezer in there, So the city needs to, consider that you need to put some insulation in there, and that eventually you need to air condition that particular dog shelter, So it's important, that we do that.
Okay.
I went to the Lytle animal shelter there. It's all air conditioned, it's insulated, they got vents, and it's a very nice animal shelter. You should visit it and look at it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak at the public hearing?
In reference to the budget?
I beg your pardon?
In reference to the budget?
In reference to the budget, yes.
Us or them?
Okay. If not, we will close the hearing at 7:02. And is it appropriate at this point for council to speak on this as part of the public hearing? No, it's not.
Okay.
We've already done that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next.
So item number 16, yes, is to discuss and consider action on setting the proposed property tax rate and set the public hearing date, time, and location.
Right, so this is just setting the proposed rate that we're going to publish in the paper, and we're going to set the date and time and the location of that public hearing on the tax rate. So, like I stated, what's in the budget is the 0.48, and that is in between our no new revenue rate, which is about 0.4199, and our voter approval rate, which is a 0.4948. So we're proposing in the budget a 0.48. That is an increase in dollars of $359,000, and how that's broken out is you have the INS rate going up $116,416, which is to cover the 2024 bonds we already issued, and then there is new property also that's $64,120, and then we're recovering the increment that we lost before 2 years ago of $178,910. 2 years ago, we were at a 0.4866, and now we're suggesting that we should recover that increment and go back to a 4.8. That still puts us as the lowest rate in Medina County. The average in Medina County is a 0.55, and the state average is at least a 0.65, if not a 0.75. It's somewhere in there. So we're very low. And John did an analysis where we showed we've lost $1 million since we started lowering the M&O rate in the last few years, and we would lose, and by 2040, was it another 1.5 million?
No, it was 14 million over
14
by
million
2040.
By 2040, if we continued this route. So we're suggesting that we would recover the increment. It's in between the no new revenue and voter approval rate, so we wouldn't be subject to a vote from the public. It would be decided based on the approval of the budget.
Is that an analysis with like zero growth? I mean, we don't anticipate any
No,
growth.
that's 5% growth. We've been growing at an average of 7%, but I think we put 5% in that analysis there.
So the staff recommends the city council approve the budget plan for property tax rate at .48 and set a public hearing on August 26, 2024 at 6 p.m. as part of the regular city council agenda in the city hall chamber.
We should take a roll call vote.
Right.
The date, the hearing and date is only if we agree to the proposed tax increase rate, right?
This is the proposed rate, so basically, on the 26th, we have the public hearing, that's what we're setting here.
What if we don't do the proposed rate? Does there still have to be a public hearing and date?
Yeah, there's a publication requirement, which is
Right.
buyer safety.
Regardless, whether
You have
it's,
to do this.
regardless.
Okay, are we clear?
Now
We
can
have
I ask
the
my
date.
question?
I beg your pardon?
Now can I ask my budget question?
We're actually.
On this particular property tax rate? No? Can I or not?
Yeah.
Chris, what do you anticipate, what is the amount that you anticipate this increase will raise?
$359,000, 446 of additional property tax.
359?
Page 49 of 57.
I mean, part of that is the INS rate, which is to cover the bonds, 116,416. 64,000 is from new property that's been added to the roll, 64,120, and then the remaining increment recovery is 178,910.
Oh, I see it. I didn't go that far yet.
Okay, and to reiterate, we are not adopting it tonight. We are
No,
proposing.
we're just
Right, it's a proposal.
setting what rate we're going to propose to the public for a public hearing on it. And then after that, we would approve the budget at some point, and then after that, we can approve the tax rate after the budget.
Well, I think we need a little help. We decreased the tax rate 2 years ago, and now with this increase, we're not even getting to what we decreased it from 2 years ago, right?
Right, because we were at 4,866 at that point. This would go to a 4,8. So we're not recovering all the increment. Because we could go to a 4,948. That would recover it all.
understand
Yeah.
So the motion would be only to do the proposed rate, not that we're gonna
It's-
do it, right?
It's to do the proposed rate and set the meeting, date, and time and location.
Right, but it's just a proposal. It doesn't mean that it's gonna
Right, it's just
fly
proposed.
through, right?
Yes.
So you're not taking action on the actual rate tonight.
Mayor, I make a motion to go ahead and approve the proposed tax rate increase.
Okay.
A .48,
A .48,
yes, 0.480.
And to set the meeting.
and then, do I have to
And
set
set
the
a public-
meeting and all that?
Yeah, it's probably part of the motion. Mayor has the.
Page 48. One back. Well, one more back.
So August
Put my eyes
26th.
on him, put my eyes on
The
him.
recommendation is
Oh.
August 26th at 6 PM here is the council chambers as part of the meeting.
Okay, and set the public hearing on August the 26th, 2024 at 6 PM in the City Hall chambers.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Villa and a second from Mr. Claire. All in favor of this motion?
Let's take a roll call vote.
Oh, yeah, thank you, and I even have it right in front of me. Okay, place one. Please say yes or no. Place one.
No.
Place two.
Yes.
No?
Place four.
Yes.
And place five.
Yes.
Motion carries, and our proposed rate is at 48, and the public hearing is set for August 26th at 6 p.m. Item number
17.
17, yes. Discuss and consider action on the proposed City of Hondo Water Master Plan. This is about 10 weeks, 10 months from finish. Go ahead.
So, council, as I mentioned in the budget, much of this year is going to be planning. We've got, this particular plan is important because it has a hydraulic portion of it, so that basically when a company comes into the city or a residential area, developer, subdivision, anything like that. We're going to be able to punch the numbers in, and basically we'll know whether we'll be able to provide them water or not. It's also going to cover a couple of things such as the future water needs for Hondo, because we really need to start thinking about, if we need more pressure. So should we use booster tanks? Should we go for elevated storage tanks? We need to really start talking about these things now so that we could allow the engineers to help us develop a capital improvement plan. And that conversation needs to be had now. So we're making this proposal. We do not have this in the budget. What we want the council to consider, which we may not be able to vote on tonight, but we wanted to at least get your temperature on it. We have the certificates of obligation. We had planned to purchase $1.5 million in water rights. Unfortunately now, water rights are $10,500 an acre foot. It's very expensive. So in talking with staff, we have decided that we think that it would be better to consider, we've got multiple projects within our water department that need to be done. So we'd like to bring them to you individually, such as this, and use the 1.5 million instead towards these projects.
So the cost of this proposed study from KSA would be covered as part of our 1.5?
Correct, and it would be roughly $97,000.
And we would account for that later on, or how?
We would come back at such as next meeting. Again, we wanted to get your temperature on it and see what you think about the study. We'd come back next meeting and our attorney would give us the language we need to consider that for funding.
And you're going to get 1.5 million from where?
The proposed, the certificates of obligation, we propose that we use 1.5 million to purchase water rights. Unfortunately, water rights have went up. I think since that proposal was first made, first talked about, I believe they were like 8,000 or 8,500, and currently they're at 10,500 and rising. So we have quite a bit of water at the airport that we're able to lease. So we feel that strategically it would be better to continue leasing it from the airport, because at least the airport's getting the money and not someone else. And then at the same time, we have projects available that we can do to use that money on so that it doesn't just sit there.
So I didn't hear the first part, John. I was writing. The 1.5 million is coming from the water rights that have been sold?
No, sir. The certificates of obligation, we had allocated 1.5 million to purchase water rights. And instead of purchasing those water rights, we're proposing that the council consider using the monies to do infrastructure improvements in the water department, which is appropriate.
The way that whole proposal was worded, it does allow us to do this. It was not specific to buying water.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Right. I do note in here that this study and everything would take about 10 months from beginning to end.
Yes, sir.
And that they're proposing to perform the services described for the above outlined scope for the following lump sum fee of $97,000.
Yes, sir.
Right. And so my question is that offer from KSA something we need to act on, or will it go up?
I mean, I personally believe, I hope that we've peaked on prices. I've talked to the engineers about this as well, that, just like the labor costs are starting to peak out right now and come down a little bit, I'm hoping it shouldn't get much more than that. The reason we need to do this now, and why I'm saying we need to plan now, is because the discussion needs to start right now as to how we're going to get water in the future. I mean, even, I was talking to somebody the other day about increasing pressure. We could increase pressure and we could use, let's say, booster tanks. I don't know if our water pipes could handle it, to be honest with you. I've got our intern working on our GIS to map out each of our water leaks since 2014. And you scroll out and it's just red.
Red
I mean,
all over.
yeah, we've got a lot of repair clamps in the ground, and it's really time to start having these serious discussions because it is, you know, again, I mean, this is not something that you as a council have contributed to. You've been very good about giving us money we need to fix infrastructure, and infrastructure is a buzzword now. You know, you hear it in communities, whereas in the past it wasn't talked about, and unfortunately, the work that should have been done in the 80s and 90s, it didn't get done. So, but Hondo's not alone. I mean, all over Texas, all over America, you have cities that are going through the same problems. But every area is unique. The soil types are unique. Renee and I were discussing that this morning. When it gets really dry, the ground cracks, it moves, and then our pipes burst. So hence, you know, the tremendous number of leaks that we've had over the years and would continue to have. So, you know, this, again, this is a discussion we need to have. And unfortunately, I mean, we have to use engineers because they, number one, they have the knowledge of the area. They have the knowledge of what works and won't work, and helping us create a hydraulic study that will allow us to know, okay, this is how much water we're going to need. This is what we can plug into our system. And then at the same time, have the conversation as to, you know, like I said, our pipes, can they take it? Are they not? What are our opinion of probable costs? I mean, there's so many different things we could go into this study with.
So,
Mayor, I got a question. Isn't KSA the ones that make the study for 14th Street?
Yes,
They do a lot of different stuff.
yes.
they do a
And
lot of different things.
historically,
So-
they've historically, Johnny, historically, because we had a lot of disagreements with them, the price goes up.
Yeah.
I mean, just on 14th Street alone, they had like 2, 3, maybe 4 price increases for their study. I mean, there's $97,000, that's pennies. It will come back.
Well, we just need to make sure that it sticks to 97,000. I mean, I think we need this studied. Our water system is terrible. There's water pressure issues all over the city, and we got to do something about it. So, I mean, I think $97,000 out of that 1.5, and then trying to use some of that 1.5 to do some of the repairs. I mean, I'm all on board with that.
The reason I asked, I know you weren't here, is because the study started at this price, and before we knew it, it was way out of hand, and what could we do back then?
Right, yes,
That's
sir.
why,
We were stuck with it.
Can we do a contract? Can we do a contract where we can't, I mean.
I can hold them to that 97,000.
Yeah, right.
Am I hearing that we would prefer to find out if there's other engineers?
Absolutely.
is there just KSA, or could we get somebody else?
We currently work with,
Me, myself, I don't know about the rest. I wasn't too happy with the engineering that they did on 14th Street.
so we,
Now we're talking about other streets.
yes, sir. So we can, I mean, we work with Friesen Nichols, and we work with Freeman Turk, and we've worked with other engineers in the past. The reason why we're using KSA right now is because of the, they've developed a lot of our sewer system master plan, and they've worked with us in this area for so long that they have a kind of a really good idea of our system. Now, I have to check and see on 14th Street, because I do remember that there was I'm remembering a different engineering company, and unfortunately, Renee's not here, but I'm remembering a different engineering company, maybe for the study, but the actual work that was done, I believe it was a different civil engineer.
Well, that's why I asked the question. I wanted to make sure whether it was KSA or not.
And I've been happy with KSA's work so far, and like I said, I can keep them to the, I can avoid scope creep and keep them to the 97,000.
Well, for now, it's just a proposal that we're gonna agree to, right?
Correct.
We can't take
And-
action
and
tonight.
I wouldn't even say agree, I just wanted to get your temperature on the
Yeah.
need for it, and then at the same time, mostly for the funding, to see if we were okay with, instead of purchasing water rights, you know,
But this
that
is
sort of
not a
thing.
task order that's added to what we already have with them.
Correct, this is just a proposal right now.
Okay.
Do we have to act on that, on the 97,000? I mean, I know we can't do that tonight, but do we need to do that later? Or we
I think
just,
we would do a cleanup, we would do another item that would include the funding from, our attorney would give me the wording and we'd go back and do that.
I do
Well,
have
here it says discussing consider action.
You-
we don't have
You
to.
could, but we don't have to.
I do have another question, though, and that has to do with the exclusions. I think we need to work out some of those, because this is the following services are excluded, but can be added in the fee negotiated if desired. And the very first one, where they're, you know, I would think that that would be part of what they would do, and if it's excluded, then who do they expect to do it? So we need to work on that.
yeah.
And then just to remind us all, yes, we have problems with our water. It's not terrible, but it does need improvement.
Absolutely.
And this
It is
study,
terrible.
this study is,
It is terrible.
Water pressure is for sure.
well, I guess it depends on where you are, but 39 weeks, which is about 10 months.
Yes, sir.
Is what this study is proposed to take. Any more questions regarding the water study?
Yeah, I think we can bring it back and he can answer your question and, you know, see who did it and I think it's
That's
a
good.
good idea.
That was really what this is meant for, is just the conversation that we had.
Well, if you get all the information, just go ahead and put it on the next city council meeting.
Yes, sir.
Item number 18 is to discuss changing the area from 14th Street to 18th Street and Avenue N to Avenue U to R3. We have in our packet a map which shows the central business district, which does overlap with this area that's delineated, and another aerial view photograph which shows the area and makes it a little easier to see where some of the potential problems are. And I also asked for the manager and Development Services to give us this sheet which outlines what the different things mean: RE, R1, R2, R3, and Central Business District. Not to cut anyone off, but I do want to point out that if you look at the aerial view of the photograph, you can clearly see that there are a couple of things like silos and a bar and a cafe may not be open at this point, and some other things that are in the Central Business District. And we would probably, as we come back to this, need to redraw that line and not make it as hard as it is right now. Having said that, there is process that has to be gone through anytime you go to change a zoning.
Mayor?
And, I'm sorry. And we need to go through those processes with the planning and zoning and with the folks who live in that area, so far as that goes. And so those are the things that I would say in preparation. Mr. Echiozo, do you have anything to add presentation-wise to this at this time, or can you just answer questions? Okay, Mr. Duarte.
I asked for this to be put on the agenda. I spoke with the city manager today, and that's just the area that I threw out. I know there's a map. I knew there was a map. However, I wanted it on the agenda so we could decide that, yes, let's send it back to P&Z. Let's send it to them. We are not here, Mayor, to tell people what they can and can't buy, to live in. And it's up to them to take care of it. We are not here to dictate to the citizens how to use their own money to buy a dwelling. So if there's an empty lot, and I discussed this at length with the city manager, with John today, what Ms. Carpenter was doing before, she would approach the P&Z herself as a city initiated, and they would get approved, because she got, I don't know, 2 or 3 homes approved.
Specific use?
Pardon me?
Were they specific use within the R2?
Yes.
Okay.
And because we went with the lay of the land, and we counted the amount of homes that are already there. So the ones that have been placed there since then, they beautified some of the streets because of what they're doing to their yards. So for that to be discontinued and telling these people, no, you can't do it, or it's not gonna get done, that is unsatisfactory. The most recent one, we had a young lady east of here where, yes, let's go ahead and do it. And then when she did what she had to do, oh no, well, now you need a specific user, and that's not gonna get done. And she tore down her grandma's house to place a double wide there. And she ended up selling the property because it wasn't gonna get done. So we are not in a position to do that, Mayor. So this area that I have identified, that the city manager has said, well, you know, there is a map, and I know where it goes,
And we can change the map.
you know, and the bar that's in there, it's not gonna close.
Right.
It's over 100 years old.
And the silos probably won't right away either.
No,
So those,
no.
my comment on those was that our map that we have is N to U and 14th to 18th, and it needs to be better delineated.
Right.
And leave some of
so
those in simple business.
My intent was to, let's move forward with getting this to the P&Z.
Right.
So it can get changed and approved. I will keep fighting for some of these people that want to place a home on empty lots.
Well, having served on P and Z on 2 different times and then seeing this sort of thing come before council in the past, one of the things we also want to be careful of is this area R2, with the exception of the CBD parts, this is R2 at present?
It's R2 presently. yes.
Okay, there may be folks who are living in that area who would prefer to keep it R2 and to do exceptions in order to accommodate manufactured housing. We know that that's happened many times over the last
Let's
at
let
least
them
10 or
decide.
12 years. And it has, as you say, beautified the area. And in some cases, it's much better than what was there. And that's what folks can do, and I agree with you. But there may, in the process of all of that, we're gonna have to get input from the residents.
Absolutely, and let's give them that opportunity.
Yeah.
Because if we have no input, then we should proceed with it.
Well, this is not just about manufactured homes. It's also for multiple dwelling units per lot.
Well,
Duplexes, townhomes, triplexes, fourplexes, which some folks who live in this area may not want that next to their house, next to their single dwelling. I definitely agree that if somebody wants to put a manufactured home on their lot, they should be able to do that. But that doesn't mean that everybody should have to live next to like a fourplex that has a bunch of cars parked there. I mean, I don't think we should just blanket this whole area R3.
And that's gonna be the difficult stuff that P and Z works through.
That building that Brett's talking about is like 4 streets west, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The building he's talking about, the fourplex, there's one about 3 or 4 streets further west. In
Right, I
this
think
area, there is not one.
Right, there's one on 14th, north of 14th, right?
But
That's
if
what you're
it
talking
was,
about?
if it is R3.
No.
That is allowed in an
That's further
R3.
down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is. I mean,
And my comment is that there may be folks who live in the R2 at this point, and if they look at the R3 possibility, they said, no, I'd rather not have that.
Right.
So this is something that will have to be worked through.
this gives them the opportunity to come forward and speak. That's all I want.
Can we give direction? Or,
The attorney has a solution.
Yeah, so, as a council, you will take action to apply for the zoning change for it to go through P and Z. However, tonight's agenda item is not written for action. It was a sole discussion item. It would be better if the council were to vote on taking that step to rezone versus giving staff direction, because the staff needs to take direction from the entire body in a form of a motion.
So our motion
And we can
to
go ahead.
rezone would be to go through the processes, to begin the processes with V and
No,
Z.
there is no action on this item. There's no action to be taken. It's not written for action.
But he's saying, like, next
Okay,
meeting.
right.
Next meeting, you guys.
Next meeting,
if you go for application,
So,
Council, I can come back with a completed application to put in the packet, and then you all can review it, and then take action to, so that we can bring it to direct us to submit that to B and Z. So let us, that way if there's any potential miscommunication in the way the map should read, and I'll send this out to you over the next 2 weeks so that I can get feedback for the map. And then you'll vote on the actual application that is going to P and Z, so that way there's no confusion.
yes.
And that'll
You're
be at the
gonna
next
redraw the
council
map,
meeting.
John?
Say again?
Is the map going to be redrawn by then, so they can
Yes.
see the actual map of what we're trying to do?
Yes, we can get that done. And then at the same time, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like we could take out the business part of it, i.e. the silos and the bar, and then, and like I said, draw it like it's supposed to be. And then you can choose, we'll submit it as R3 if that's the council's wishes, and then go from there.
Okay,
Sounds good.
we're moving in the right direction.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you all.
I move that we adjourn.
We have a motion from Mr. B. And I have a second from Ms. Ramirez. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, by the same sign.